What's up, YouTube? This your boy Bigboyfactsjonnytv, and tonight I'm gonna do my AEW Rampage review and how you guys new. Make sure you guys watch this full video before you connect with me the right way. And also hit that like button. Connect with my socials, my Twitter, my Instagram, TikTok, and Twitch, and Discord down below in the description. And let's talk about AEW Rampage. It's Friday, and you know what that means. All Elite Wrestling returns from the Gas South Arena in Duluth, Georgia. It's even for their tape edition of AEW Rampage on TNT. On tape for tonight's show is a big title match as the Spanish God Sammy Guevara defends against the premier athlete Tony Nese in a feature one-on-one showdown. Additional one half of the AEW Tag Team Champions, the Lucha Bros Penta El Zero, will join force with their third member of Death Triangle, the Bastard Pac, in a non-title match against AAA champion, Tag Team Champions FTR. Also, Jay Cargill takes on Jenny Janaka and a singles action with Thunder Rosa serving as special guest commentator during the bout. Alright, so we get TNT Championship match. Tony Nese versus Sammy Guevara. This match was good, really good. From there we head down to the ring for our first of 3 advertised matches for tonight's show. The TNT Champion showdown between the Spanish Guy and the premier athlete will be starting things off inside the square circle on this week's program. With that said, we are here to interest music of the challenger as Tony Nese makes his way out for his debut bout on AEW Rampage. He settles in the ring and his theme dies down as he awaits the ring walk of his opponent, the beginning and defending TNT champion, Sammy Guevara. I'm just letting y'all know right now, Tony Nese is all elite. That's all I gotta say. On that note, the theme for the Inner Circle member hits and this big time fan favorite emerged from the entrance tunnel looking ready to take care of business and his latest TNT Championship Open Challenge title defense, which is how this match ended up being booked for tonight. The bell sounds and we're off and running with this one. The commentary trio of Escobar, Taz, and Ricky Starks talk about Chris Jericho not being at the commentary desk with them this week due to the backstage attack he suffered at the hands of Dan Garcia and Team 2.0 on Dynamite this past Wednesday night. As they wrap it up, the banter on that topic, we see Sammy Guevara jumping off into an early offense lead to Tony Nese. He gets the crowd on their feet as he takes it to Tony Nese straight out of the gate. Tony Nese tries fighting back, landing a couple of strikes of his own before the Spanish guy cuts his comeback attempt short and picks up where he left off, delivering punishment to the challenger. Sammy Guevara ends up sending Tony Nese out of the ring and out to the floor at ringside. He builds up head of steam and launches him over the ropes, splashing onto Tony Nese on the floor as the fans explode with a big pop. After the landing, Sammy Guevara sells his injured rib, which are taped up for this match tonight. The commentators talk about Sammy Guevara's ribs being injured by former UFC heavyweight champion Junior Dos Santos and how things were only made worse for him after the sneak attack from Tony Nese during the backstage segment between these two. That set up this championship contest here this evening. Tony Nese does a great job of finally getting some offense momentum on his side as he targets the hurt ribs of Sammy Guevara and being to go to work on him with punishing offense that is all force on the midsection and ribs of the champ. Tony Nese hits a big springboard splash off the ropes onto Sammy Guevara and then drops a big knee directly into his injured rib. From there, we see the premier athlete stop and do a single bicep pose on one knee as the fans booed his blatant display of arrogance. Tony Nese then picks up Sammy Guevara and whips him into the turnbuckles in the corner of onto the corner of the ring. Hard, this doesn't do Guevara ribs any favor. Much like all of the offense Tony Nese has delivered throughout this match. Tony Nese whips him into the opposite corner of the ring, and then we head to a mid-match picture-in-picture commercial break. As we settle back in from the break, we see that Tony Nese is still controlling the action. However, Sammy Guevara is lately beginning to finally fight back, landing some shots for the first time since the first few minutes of this Rampage opener. Tony Nese cuts Sammy Guevara's momentum off before it really gets going, and he gets right back to work on him. This doesn't last long, however, as Sammy Guevara ends up finally firing up for his big offensive comeback. The fans come back. The fans starts to come to life inside the gas south area and Dulce, Georgia, as the Spanish guy finally begins stringing together more than the occasional shot here and there. He hits a big spot and starts to look confident for the first time since the beginning of the match. Tony Nese tries taking back over, but Guevara cuts his attempt short and connects with a big Spanish spot for a close near fall. Once he gets back up, Sammy Guevara blasts Tony Nese with another big shot before sending him out to the floor with authority. He waits for Tony Nese to get back to his feet, and then leaps a springboard off the top rope and connects with a picture perfect moonsault onto Tony Nese on the floor. He sends Tony Nese back in the ring. However, Tony Nese catches him with a big shot as he tried rolling back into the ring to follow up with more offense. This allows Tony Nese to gain the offense upper hand once again as he hits a big high spot of his own. He then lays Guevara out and heads to the top rope where he connects with a big 450 splash for a close near fall of his own. The fans react with a thunderous "This is awesome" chant. Tony Nese gets a bit too cocky for his own good after the near finish moments ago, as he starts guaranteedly kicking and pushing Guevara around as he is laid out on the mat. Tony Nese ends up coming to life out of nowhere and firing up for another comeback. Tony Nese ends up hitting a big shot that slows him down, and then begins looking for his running Nese finisher. However, Guevara sees it and coming encounters. He then connects with a big running knee of his own, and that lays out Tony Nese. He covered him and scores the pinfall victory and retains his TNT champion in an excellent opener to set the tone for the show this evening. The winner and still your TNT champion, Sammy Guevara. That match was fantastic. Christian Cage vows to see to it that Jurassic Express capture tag team titles. We shoot backstage after the opener wraps up, and we see the trio of Christian Cage and Jurassic Express, Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus sitting by for an interview segment. Captain Charisma puts over his pals and Jurassic Express and talks about how they came in at the number one contender spot in the latest official AEW rankings that were released ahead of tonight's Rampage. With that said, he talks about how they are going to be watching the main event between the AAA Tag Team Champions FTR and the duel of Death Triangle Pac and one half of the AEW Tag Team Champions, the Lucha Bros, Penta El Zero, with vested entrance. From there, he retries the same point he made in another recent backstage interview segment on AEW program, which is that even if it's the last thing he does as an active wrestler in the business before finally retiring for good, he is going to see to it that Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus end up capturing the World Tag Team titles. Once the backstage interview segment wraps up, we head to another commercial break after the commentators quickly remind us that Jade Cargill will be in action in a women's singles match when we return. So we get Jade Cargill versus Jaina Kai. This was decent. We return from the break and we see Smart Mark Sterling emerging through the entrance tunnel as he walks his main client Jade Cargill down to the ring for her advertised showdown against Thunder Rosa train prospect John Kai. Cargill settles into the square circle and her music dies down already. In the ring is her opponent Jana Kai and as scheduled Cargill opponents in the TBS Women's Championship Tournament semifinals. Thunder Rosa makes her way out for a special guest commentary. Rosa takes her spot at the commentary desk and being putting over her friend and student. Kai, as the bell sounds, the official gets this one-on-one women's match off running. This one doesn't last long at all. Cargill literally hits a couple of moves and then connects Kai with her finisher before picking up the very quick splash/showcase match victory. The winner of the match, Jade Cargill. After the match, Jade Cargill continues to attack Thunder Rosa. After the match, Jade Cargill continues to attack. Thunder Rosa makes the save. That's all I was trying to say. Alright. Once the match wraps up, we see Cargill looking incredibly pleased with herself as she celebrates in ignorant fashion before flashing a quick turning stare at Rosa over at the commentary desk. With that said, Cargill proceeds to unnecessarily add more insult to injury as she beats down Kai some more after already winning the match. This goes on long enough that Thunder Rosa has been enough. Alright. Rosa throws her headset down and runs down to the ring to make the save for her friend and deliver a message to her upcoming opponent in the semifinals of the TBS Women's Championship Tournament. We see Thunder Rosa and Cargill brawl like two crazy people as a ton of officials and security members arrive into the scene in an attempt to break up these two. Thunder Rosa ends up breaking free from being held back, and emerges energized with Cargill some more as they brawl. Get going once again. Finally they are broken up again, and this time that ends the post-match scene. Alright, so we get Adam Cole and the Young Bucks extend a challenge to the best friends. We shoot backstage we see the trio of Super Click / Super Elite, Adam Cole and the Young Bucks, Nick and Matt Jackson standing by as their corny from the Elite host the camera for the segment. The trio goes on to talk about how they beat down Orange Cassidy and some of his pals from the Best Friends on Dynamite this past Wednesday night. They then go on to talk about how they are real life dog guys, as we see Don Callis walks past them and nod while they keep talking. Eventually, the Young Bucks goes on to attend a formal challenge to the freshly squeezed one himself. They tell him and the Best Friends to put forward their two best members for a tag team match on next week's edition of Dynamite. The Super Click tells their corny from the Elite to hit the red button on the camera to stop recording as they are done speaking their piece. Alright, so we get Eddie Kingston tells Team 2.0 they have to answer for their recent actions. Now we shoot to a different part of the backstage area inside the gas south area and Duluth, Georgia, where we see Eddie Kingston seated in a staircase somewhere behind the scene at the Atlanta base venue. The Mad King doesn't look happy this evening as he talked while sitting on the stairs about how he wasn't overly bothered with the fact that Daniel Garcia and Team 2.0 attacked the injured Chris Jericho on this past Wednesday night edition of Dynamite. What is still bothering him, however, is the fact that Team 2.0 duo of Jeff Parker and Matt Lee attacked him after his match on last week's Rampage main event against Daniel Garcia. He makes it clear that Team 2.0 will have to answer for the attack. So a special look at Bryan Danielson ongoing rivalry with the Dark Order. Once the Kingston backstage segment wraps up, we shoot in celebrate video package that gives fans a special look at Bryan Danielson ongoing rivalry with the member of the Dark Order. Bryan Danielson is shown talking directly into the camera and what appeared to be a segment planned for next week's AEW Road to Long Island countdown special for next week's Dynamite, where he is scheduled to square off against John Silver in his hometown. The American Dragon goes on to talk about how it felt good to beat up and hurt Colt Cabana in his hometown of Chicago. He just like it felt great to hurt Alan Angels in front of his hometown fans near Atlanta. He says he expects to feel the same way when he beat and injures John Silver in front of his fans in Long Island area next week arena on next week's Wednesday night's Dynamite show. So we get Mark Henry pre-main event split screen interview with FTR, Pac, and Penta L0. Alright, from there we shoot to our regular pre-main event feature on Rampage as Mark Henry is standing by for his pre-match split screen interview segment with the competitors involved in the headline about of the evening on this week's show. We see the team of FTR, Dax, Harwood, and Couch Wheeler on one side of the screen with their AAA Tag Team Championships in hand. They talk about beating up and hurting Ray Phoenix, but they complain about him being so fragile is what caused them to lose the opportunity they were looking forward to on tonight's show. They revealed that it was a chance to mark another notch in the history books in beating the Lucha Bros to recapture the AEW Tag Team Championships, so that they can be double tag team champions with two sets of belts simultaneously. This leads to the two teams argue and refusing to stop talking over each other at the same time. Finally, the World's Strongest Man has heard enough from these four. He shuts down the pre-match interview and gets the viewing audience at home inside the Gas South area in Duluth, Georgia, ready for our main event of the evening, which starts now. So we get FTR versus Penta El Zero and Pac. Alright, we shoot back inside the arena and Duluth, where we hear the familiar sound of this entrance theme of FTR. This brings out the AAA Tag Team Champions Harwood and Wheeler, who head to the ring, accompanied by Tony Blanchard. They settle into the square circle, awaits the entrance of their opponents for the final match for the evening in this week's Rampage. With that said, we hear the theme for the duel from the Death Triangle trio as Penta El Zero, Metal, and the Bastard Pac, who has an eye patch over one of his eyes, emerge and heads to the ring, accompanied by Alex Abrahams. With all four of with all four of the competitors in tonight's main event now in the ring, we hear the bell sound to get this match officially off and running. The fans are already pumped up. They're making a tons of noise and anticipation of what should be an excellent contest between these two highly regarded teams. This one gets off into an explosive start as the four guys are flying all over the place as they set a ridiculous pace coming out of the gate. We see a bunch of back-to-back high spots and a ton of noise from the fans and Duluth. Eventually, we see things settle down as the duo of Pac and Penta start to have trouble as FTR utilize some good double team offense to establish the offensive advantage as we head to a mid-match commercial break. We settle back in following our final time out of the evening. Here on this week's Rampage, we see that Penta El Zero Metal starts to fire up and catches anything that moves with a huge kick. Pac ends up joining in, and now we see to momentarily completely shift to the side of the triangle duel. The Pac tries and pick up where Penta left off, taking it to Harwood and Wheeler, catching them each with big shots before focusing on his attack in the legal man in the ring. Unfortunately for him, Harwood starts to take back over. After that, he decks Pac with a big right hand and then follows that up with a tiger driver. We see the bastard Pac slowly work his way back into the competitive front before he begins taking over again on offense. He starts picking up the pace and intensity as he clearly seems to feel he has the FTR duel in position to be finished off in this once. Instead, as he looks to do exactly that, out of nowhere emerges Malachi Black. Malachi Black sprays the trademark black poison mist directly into the one good eye of Pac. He falls down to the mat, covering his eye up and ignoring it. And Harwood notices this and it immediately covers him for the 3 count and the victory in this week's AEW Rampage main event. FTR gets the win. The winner of the match, FTR. After the match, Malachi Black tears at Pac's eye until he draws blood. Immediately after the pin fall is counted, the camera focuses on Malachi Black, who is shown sitting cross-legged on the floor at ringside with his back to the ring, as the crowd, commentators, and viewing audience at home are soaking what just happened, what just transpired, in the closing moment of what was an excellent main event up to that point. From there, he re-enters the ring and visually goes at the eye of Pac and delivers more punishment, and what happened to be an attempt to completely blind the vision of the bastard. Meanwhile, FTR tears the mask off of Penta El Zero. We see another shot of Malachi Black tearing at the eye of Pac, and then a bunch of officials break things up as the fans loudly boo. The commentators notice that Malachi Black drew blood from Pac as a result of violently tearing and clawing at his eye. The camera shows a close-up of Malachi Black's hand covered in blood. He raises his bloody hand in the air and lets out a war cry as the commentators take us off the air. That's how this week's show wraps up. Thanks for joining us. And AEW Rampage goes off the air. But like I said earlier, now I really enjoy AEW Rampage. I really enjoy it. It was a good show to me. That's all I gotta say from there. But anyway, if you guys join my AEW Rampage review on House, please drop a like on this video. Watch the full video that way you connect with me the right way. Leave a like, comment, share, and follow my social media, my Twitter, my Instagram, and TikTok, and Twitch, and Discord down below in the description. You guys have a great night. Have a great night. Stay safe and always stay positive. This your boy Bigboyfactsjonnytv, and I'm out of here.